All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, more bad news is one of the best fighters in all of boxing. Appears dead set on never giving a shot to one of the other best fighters in boxing, to boxing's detriment. And this is the #1 pound for pound fighter, Terence Crawford, responding to statements made about the #2 welterweight right now and probably the #1 contender in all of boxing, Jarron Boots Ennis. And his statements are, to say the least, disappointing and unfortunate. And I think that it would be better. You know how your mama used to say, if you don't have anything good to say, then don't say anything at all. Terence Crawford should probably not say anything at all regarding this, as I don't get how anybody that is really interested in seeing good boxing matches don't want to see that fight or would accept this reasoning that is put out there by Terence Crawford. But let's talk about specifically what he said. And there's two ways you can take it, though. There's two ways that you can take it, and I will cover both of those in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division, where we are still in a situation where big fights are being discouraged in the sport of boxing. You have Terence Bud Crawford, who will be in a rematch against Errol Spence Jr. I expect within the next month and a half or so. We'll find out when that fight is going to take place. Definitely going to be in the year 2024. Going to be at 154 pounds from what I understand. But we're waiting on seeing what the network is going to be. But in the meantime, people are still talking about the welterweight division, which we do on this channel a good amount. And the conversations are, hey man, Terence, when are you going to fight Jarron Ennis? Because that's who, if other than Errol Spence Jr. And by the way, there are people out there that are saying that they aren't interested in the Errol Spence fight. So if we assume that what many of the naysayers about the Errol Spence Terence Crawford rematch is what they say is true, that people don't want to see that fight, then there's no reason not to have the fight with Jarron Ennis. Jarron Ennis is everything we need to see in there with Terence Crawford, and seeing as Terence Crawford is the undisputed champion in the weight division, he needs to fight somebody in the weight division that's his challenger. However, Terence Crawford apparently doesn't feel that way. Now, before I get into the details, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you for your continued support. It absolutely positively is essential. Thank you for your support and the super thanks of the videos. And thank you to guys just for watching the video. But Terence Crawford had a comment where somebody made a comment to him on Twitter, and Terence Crawford responded. And in essence, the comment was, hey, Terence, okay, now when are you going to fight Jarron Ennis? Because everybody, including yourself, knows that that's your toughest competition. When you going to fight Jarron Boots Ennis? Terence Crawford responded to that, said, I've heard that song before. That song is played out. I don't know why in the world that is played out. You're going to continue to hear that song as long as you are a champion in boxing, because that's your job. One of the things that I've found very interesting about the this undisputed, and how there's more undisputed champions now in this quote unquote 4-belt era, which, you know, there's been more over the last 4 or 5 years than there were in the previous, when was it, since like 2006 is when really we were considered to be, when the WBO became a major championship belt. And that took place when Oscar De La Hoya got his hands on it at 154 pounds. At 160 pounds and fought Bernard Hopkins. And they said, this is for the undisputed championship. Before that, Bernard Hopkins was an undisputed champion with 3 belts, but then he became an undisputed champion with 4 belts because Oscar De La Hoya had the belt. But after that, there was Jermaine Taylor, and after Jermaine Taylor, there wasn't one until Terence Crawford. But here's the problem: there's really not anybody defending these belts. Most times that the belts, people have become undisputed, they basically say, okay, I've won all the belts. It's time for me to move on and go fight somebody else. And they're not really particularly interested in defending the belts. But the job of a champion is to defend the belt against all comers. If you win the championship, if you are the champion, the only champion, you are supposed to fight the next best contender. Now, if say you beat somebody like Terence Crawford beats Errol Spence, he's now the undisputed champion. There's still going to be a second best guy in the division. Who's the second best guy in the division? You're supposed to fight him. Now, when Terence Crawford says that it's played out, I've heard that song before. There's a couple ways that you can take them. You can take that. You can be like, the idea that he needs to fight Jarron Ennis is played out, and he's heard that song before and it's played out, or the idea that somebody's his toughest competition is played out. If you take it that he means that it's his toughest competition that's played out, that never gets played out, because somebody is going to be your toughest competition, even if you win the fight and you win the fight decisively. The man can still be your toughest competition. Just because you believe that you're better than everybody doesn't mean that everybody else, that now you are above and beyond the requirement of defending your titles against the people that earn shots at the title. Right? Boxing does not stop. Boxing doesn't stop when somebody wins a title. Like, hey, I got to the top of the mountain. The sport's over. Right? Muhammad Ali beats Sonny Liston. Hey, I shook up the world. Now I don't have to fight anymore. No, I'm not going to fight him because I beat Sonny Liston, so I don't have to fight. I don't have to fight Floyd Patterson. I don't have to fight any of these other guys. I don't have to fight Cleveland Williams. I don't have to fight Ernie Terrell. I don't have to do it. Why? Because I beat Sonny Liston, so I don't have to do it. Nah, man, you're going to have to fight the guys. And people are going to say that they want to see you fight certain people. And that is a good thing. If people are constantly asking you and talking to you about fighting somebody, they want to see you fight and they want to see the other person fight. That is called interest in the fight, interest in the sport, and it's a good thing, and it should be encouraged. It should be celebrated. Now, on the other side, if he says it's played out, that he's heard it about Jarron Ennis before and how he's his toughest competition, and I ain't trying to hear that, whatever. I mean, that is just, like I said, go back to the original point. Your job is to defend your titles. It does not do boxing any good for you to become an undisputed champion and then not ever defend the titles, because there's no undisputed champion anymore. As soon as you refuse to, it's like it was there for a moment in time and now it's gone. Like a phantasm or something. Like it doesn't mean anything. Like you're not going to continue to work and defend it. Now that Terence Crawford is not the only person. Actually, he's done that one time at 140 and moved to 147. But Jermell Charlo did not defend his undisputed title. Devin Haney did defend his undisputed title twice. I think Josh Taylor might have defended his one time. Alexander Usyk might have defended his one time. But I don't think Monster Inoue. I don't know if Monster Inoue, I'd have to look back to see if Monster Inoue defended his at 118 pounds, but I don't think so. I think he won it and immediately moved up to fight for two belts against Steve Fulton Jr. But at the end of the day, man, these guys are going to have to defend their belts at some point in time, or undisputed is truly, truly meaningless. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.